Hi, this is Dr. Bond and this is Doc Talk. Today we're going to talk about my favorite topic, which is sugar. Growing up, Halloween was my favorite holiday and loved going out with my brothers and sisters to go trick-or-treating and getting candy. But it brings back a very interesting topic because I read an article recently on Vox, and it was an article looking at sugar and how sugar is such a big industry and how much influence it has. So in 2015, it showed that during the Halloween week, they sell as much as $2.68 billion worth of candy to us, to our children, and for 1 week in itself, we make more than maybe the NBA or the NFL in their own revenue. And so let's take a look at sugar, okay, and how that impacts all of us. So when we talk about sugar, during winter holidays like Christmas, Easter holidays, and even Valentine, they sell about $8.6 billion worth of sugar, right? That's bigger than 6 Titanics that you're gonna have full of sugar. So sugar is very interesting because sugar in itself triggered the same brain area that trigger more of what the neurotransmitter called dopamine, which allow us to want to have more of this, as much as cocaine, nicotine, okay, opiates, like a lot of narcotics that we have we're having a problem with now, and lastly, heroin as well too. So if you throw sugar out there and it's triggered the same brain area that lead to addiction, why would we want to give this to our children? So when you start taking sugar away from people, they start having depressive mood. They started feeling like they need and want to have sugar. And so what happened is it triggered the reward center for you to eat more. And when you do studies on children, you find that if you took away sugar or any type of processed carbohydrate, it takes about a year to a year and a half for them to get it out of their system. So addiction is a big problem for all of us, especially in our children. The second part is looking at diabetes and also obesity. If you look around the world, age 2 to 5 years old, the obesity rate is actually highest in the continent of Asia at 49%. And if you look at Africa, it's 25%. And if you look at North America, it's really at 13%. So why is it so high in Asia and in Africa where we thought would be the lowest? Well, it's because it's easier to pass off the sugar in the food of these children. So let's think about this. When you give somebody sugar or processed carbohydrate, it stimulates a hormone called insulin. And insulin's main job is to store the nutrients. So it pulls the nutrients and it stores as glycogen or stored as fat. But then it makes you feel more hungry and it gets you to eat more again. And so the more sugar you eat, the higher the insulin will be, the fatty your liver will be. At some point, your body's like, well, the insulin is not responding, so I need to make more insulin. So you continue to make more insulin, it makes you fatter. And over time, the pancreas that releases insulin get fat too, and it cannot deal with it. You turn into diabetic. And so what this means is that it's a cycle. The more sugar you eat, the more insulin resistant you are, the fatter you're gonna get, the more likely you're gonna be diabetic. So when you do that, it's very hard to lose weight. The next part about insulin is that insulin is feeding cancerous cells. So the more insulin you have, the more likely it's gonna feed cancerous cell. So let's go to my third topic, which nobody talked about, which is the gut. Now, if you eat a lot of sugar, it changes the bacteria that's in the gut. And it doesn't make a type of fatty acid, the short-chain fatty acid called butyric acid. And butyric acid allows the cells in the intestine to turn over very rapidly. What does that mean? It generates and it dies. The sooner it generates and sooner it dies, it's better off because the intestinal cells need to be able to have a quick turnover. When you eat a lot of sugar, it doesn't die off. And what does it lead to? It leads to cancer cell. So when you eat fiber, you eat resistant starch, it produces more butyric acid. It turns over the cells more often. The cell die. It doesn't lead to cancer cells. So there you have it. Something seems so benign as sugar, just a little wouldn't hurt. It leads to addiction. It leads to obesity, diabetes, and it leads to poor gut health that can eventually lead to colorectal cancer is one example. This is Dr. Bond with Doc Talk. Next time you want to eat sugar and also give to your children, think about the 3 things I just told you.